How does physical beauty affect how we experience others and how they see us? I'm here with Jet Noir from jetnoirmuse.com, and I'm Kathy Vartuli from theintimacydojo.com. And Jet, in your experience, how does physical beauty affect how you see other people and how they experience and see you?
It's interesting because in regards to how I have taken time to note when I treat people differently, I've actually caught myself treating people differently if I felt they looked a certain way. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I wouldn't say that I feel myself consciously doing it, mm-hmm. but I did find myself doing it after I dug into something that came up. So what happened was I was working in a retail establishment, and someone was trying to sort of get someone in for free.
Yeah.
Okay. And they didn't stop and talk to me and say, hey, here's what I'd like to do. I've been a member for a long time, that sort of thing. They didn't do any of that. They just, left their friend there, and then they went on their way. And then when I wouldn't let their friend in for free, then it turned into a big argument. And this woman who did this, she got really upset with me. She shouted, she cussed, and it was just a really big thing.
So sorry.
And then fast forward a few months, and it turns out she has stage 4 or stage 3 cancer.
Oh.
And I got wind of it because there was a card going around saying get well soon, and I was the last manager who had not signed it because the card got to me last.
Yeah, not because you were holding out.
Right. And I had this moment where part of me was like, fuck her. But then another part of me was like, yeah, but she is really not doing well.
Yeah.
And then I had to take another step deeper and say, why is this even a debate? Why are you thinking about this, that, or that? And then I stopped and I dug and I realized that I don't find that person attractive. And I mean, like I really didn't. And so when that occurred to me, when I realized, oh wow, that's why, because I had to stop and think, what if this person looked like that person over there? Mm-hmm. And I thought about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I signed it without hesitation. Yeah. I was like, oh wow,
yeah.
Right. So that was just something that I had to be honest with myself about. That I was sort of complicit in pretty privilege, mm-hmm. right? And so I signed the card. And then the epilogue of the story is that she bounced back, she's doing better, and she came back and tried to do the exact same fucking thing and let somebody in.
The bad behavior didn't go away with the cancer.
Right, yeah. She's cured, but she's still, not very nice. No. So fuck her.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great when we can examine it, and that's one of the reasons the thoughts behind the panel is because if it's not conscious, it just drives us, and I think that there's negatives on both sides. Like if someone, I used to for a long time, because I'm not conventionally pretty, I'm a big woman, and not considered by most people sexual or desirable. And one thing I've always appreciated about you is I felt seen and heard by you. I didn't feel like you were just looking over me or ignoring me because I was bigger. I've always appreciated that about you. But I think that I realized that people on the other side, the really pretty people, were getting objectified too, and they were getting kind of corralled at the same time. And I think you do burlesque, you have a very conventionally pretty body, and I'm glad that you have had the thoughtfulness about looking at how your own patterns are, and that maybe you can share some of this as we go forward.
Yeah, I mean, I like to use the term unlearning because there's a lot of stuff that just growing up as a boy in this country, a lot of
As
really,
a human in this world with media.
right. Yeah, just a lot of horrible, like mindsets that people tried to put in me and on me. And so, yeah, I always refer to it as unlearning because I got to shake all that off and just, be my own person.
Yeah. No, and it gives the freedom. Like when I got over my thoughts that I really thought that people that were pretty, conventionally pretty, were just like they did not have problems. I could not understand. And I was really objectifying them. I was putting a distance between them and myself. And then it was really cool to realize, oh no, they have problems. They have, they're just like me. They're just in a different shape or size body. It gives you a lot more freedom to connect with people.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Have you run into feelings about being objectified with the burlesque and the work you do?
Yeah, there's this thing that happens every now and again where someone in the audience will get handsy, and there are different versions of it. There's the I'm intentionally flirting with you and trying to see if I can get somewhere handsy. Then there's the I'm drunk. And here's a fun fact: no one likes you better when you're drunk.
Even though you
Period.
think they do.
And so there's that type of handsy, and then there's the hands of privilege. The hands of privilege. What that feels like is it's when someone feels like they are entitled to touch your body without asking.
Horrible.
And as a kid, we may have felt this from an aunt or an uncle, right? It's like because they're mussing up your hair and they're grabbing and shaking you, and it's like
kissing you whether you want it or not.
Right, and then you always see these little, scenes or movie scenes where like a kid pulls away and they're like, oh, they're grumpy about it. Everyone laughs it off, but it's like, no, that's because they don't want to be touched. Leave them alone. You know?
Let's respect their no.
Yeah, exactly. And so I remember getting off stage at a recent show, and I was still not really fully dressed, and this guy just kept on like around my shoulders and arms, like, oh man, this body and da da da, and he must have touched me like 20 times before I was even able to push his hands away.
Wow.
And it was just like really, he was like literally grabbing on my arms, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what it feels like to be objectified. And what's frightening about that is I have the male privilege of not fearing for my safety.
Right. Yeah.
And if I were a woman in that same situation, I'd probably carry a fucking knife. I mean,
yeah. There's unfortunately a lot of men identified people that walk around thinking they're entitled to anyone that looks like a female and that they have the right to touch them or grab them. And it's terrifying actually. So yeah, I'm sorry you had that experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it was a learning moment for me.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. I mean, those are really powerful. Both the story of you discovering that you were viewing people differently, and the fact that you were objectified that way. Like, thank you for sharing those. I think helping make it conscious for people. The problem is a lot of our perspective of beauty is subconscious. There's an estimated 300,000 negative images around fat that we perceive a year, like through media or whatever. But that's really brainwashing. That's subconscious. And we don't always necessarily realize it. So making it more conscious is really powerful. And I appreciate you sharing that.
Right on.
So you'll be on the panel at ConvergeCon on beauty and perspective, how we experience and our experience based on physical beauty. I'm looking forward to that. We'll have Irene Leonis as well on that panel, and myself. And so, yeah, and this will be your first time at ConvergeCon?
Yes.
And then you're going to Vancouver International Burlesque Show?
Burlesque Festival, yes.
Festival. I'll get it right. And right before ConvergeCon, you and I are doing Sexy Negotiation, a pre-con. So if you're watching this and you want to get better about negotiating and make it a little sexy, come on in. We'll put the links below, and we hope to see you. Jet, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, thanks for sharing all of that.
Right on. Thank you.